What's going on, everybody? It's SJG, and welcome to HBCU Game Day, coming from a secret location. Now I'm playing, y'all. It's not a secret location. It's the new WSSU, Winston-Salem State University multimedia lab, which is powered by Adobe. It's brand new, and they actually let us get in here and test it out. Soundproof walls, really nice video production nerd stuff, but that's not what you guys came for. You guys came to talk to this guy right here, and that is Jaylen Alston, the reigning CIAA Player of the Year, future WSSU Hall of Famer, and future professional basketball player. And he's just coming off of the HBCU All-Star game in Phoenix, Arizona. So we're going to talk to him about that, about his career, and looking forward and get him out of here. So, Jaylen, how you feeling today, man?
Oh, yeah, I feel good, definitely.
Good, man. Good to talk to you. Good to see you again. Was able to catch you a little bit of the All-Star game this weekend and in the Final Four. This is the third year for that event. Just talk about what that event was like from the moment you flew out to Phoenix until the game time came and you guys were able to get on the court.
That event, it was awesome. I flew out last week, was able to fly out early on Wednesday. Flying out, we flew United Airlines. They sponsored the event, so we got to also see their flight school and actually go to a simulator and all their flight classes while we were out there. But at the event, yeah, it was good. I was able to go to the Final Four and see the Phoenix Suns play. I'll be a part of some good things out there, too, with them opening a new basketball court out there for the local kids, and then also be able to impact the community with being able to see some of the youth that was working with the YMCA. So it was more different aspects than just basketball, but as far as like everything we went and did, it was a great event to be a part of, and the game was awesome to be able to play in.
Yeah, you talk about flight school, you definitely know a little bit about hanging in the air, so you got in some dunks there. But just talk about, before the All-Star game, I think you guys got a chance to meet with some pro scouts and talk to them. What was that like?
Yeah, it was definitely great to be able to meet. They did our testing for our height, weight, and everything like that when we first got there. Then the second day we were able to see it was 15 NBA teams there when we did practice, so they was able to talk to us afterwards. It was great for them to, be able to give me an evaluation on how well they think I did, and also be able to get some of my statistics that they had for my vertical jump, three-quarters court run, different things like that. So it was just a great event to be a part of, and that was like a really eye-opening to just see how I match up against other guys within other HBCUs.
Yeah, no doubt. And you had a great game, 16 points and 10 rebounds. I thought you could have been the MVP, but they gave it to the young man from Bethune-Cookman who did a great job. What was it like to meet some of the other guys, and interact with some of the guys? I think it was only you and another CIAA guy, so probably a lot of guys maybe you hadn't crossed paths with, and what was it like just kind of with that part?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely good meeting those other guys. Like, it's crazy to see how quickly we all related just because we all come from HBCUs. So seeing just our backgrounds are all pretty much the same, and then being able to just, relate, like, having like fried chicken Wednesdays in the caf, seeing how they treated at other schools compared to ours, seeing how they travel, their pregame meals, just different things like that. We all talked about how our coaches run their offense, certain things we call during the game. Like, for instance, one guy who was my roommate, he's from Jackson State, we talked about how it is for his coach, because his coach is Mo Williams. So I just asked him, how it is to be coached by a person who played in the NBA. And, he had a good story about it. And, he said, it's good. It's definitely better than what he first witnessed because he was a transfer into Jackson State as well. So for me, I got to tell him a little bit about Coach Hill and how we operate here in Winston. So it was good.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, let's talk about that a little bit. So you started your career at Gardner-Webb. You from Eastern Guilford High School, a little bit down the road. Just talk about the decision for you to get into the transfer portal. I think that might have been the first year of the transfer portal, what that was like, and then, what it ended up being, the move. Obviously, you guys won the championship that year, but just talk about, that whole process and deciding to come to Winston.
Yeah, so, like, at first, deciding to go to Gardner-Webb was a decision I made. Kind of feel like I kind of rushed that decision. I had a couple schools contacting me, local CI school, I see all the time, Fayetteville State. They were my first scholarship coming out of high school. So I feel like I kind of just rushed my decision a little bit. And then also the coach in which recruited me, he ended up going to another school. Like the summer session I did, he left like during that summer session. Things happen. But going to Gardner-Webb, it was a different experience. I can't say it was all bad, but it was just, a little bit of a bumpy road. But transferring, it definitely became a decision to come to Winston once I took my first visit. I heard about Winston, local, but, I've been up here before, but never really, like, been to a game and really been tied into it. So coming to a game was really, like, the first time I was able to see how the games crowd was. And then from there, being able to see how, the games are and just seeing how, all the other aspects of the school or just like everything I really wanted in a college experience. So for me, going to that, I just ended up committing to Winston and then coming to play for Coach Hill. So from there, playing with Coach Hill, like, in the beginning, I was just trying to, figure out what my role would be, understand how HBCU basketball was, because it was different compared to how I played in high school, and then way different from how the Big South is with Gardner-Webb. So it was getting used to that, and then I feel like I adjusted really easy. Coach Hill, he's a great coach, so he definitely put me in the right position to be able to be successful. And so from there, just being able to, grow close with guys like Rob Cologne, Xavier Fennell, Mason, all those guys, just being able to grow close with them just helped me be able to become a good player and basically be able to show everybody, that I had some talent. And then from there, we all gelled pretty well and was able to win that 2020 championship.
Yeah, no doubt. That's, talk about that a little bit, too. I know you said Gardner-Webb, there were some CIAA schools. For a guy who has those offers, I guess, everybody wants to compete at the highest level. And a lot of people, when you look at D1, do you think a lot of guys maybe sometimes pick a D1 school because they want to, because it's D1 and that might be the deciding factor, whereas it might, just kind of, how do you feel about that and, having had both experiences now?
Yeah, I definitely feel like guys pick a D1 school because they think, you can't make it professionally without playing at a D1 school. But that was, early thought of mine as well. But, taking my time and really making that decision to come D2, I was able to see that. It was some guys that played Division II who were really good, like the guy Amir Hinton. I never got to play against him, but I watched him the year I was going to transfer. And I just realized, a guy like that, playing in Shaw in Division II, if he can make it and get a chance, to get professional looks and scouts, then I don't see a reason why I can't. So, he kind of put that vision out there for me, just seeing him play and seeing how he did it. So, yeah, I feel like guys, they kind of stick with, the Division I talk. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you got the opportunity, you feel like the program is meant for you, then definitely take the opportunity. But, you should honestly, make the decision and make, whatever school you choose, a choice of where you see yourself being successful at and where you see yourself playing, honestly.
Yeah, and you talk about that 1920 year, you were, Rob was there, but there was a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces, and Coach Hill was still pretty new at the time. You guys on that run, you guys didn't come in. I don't think you won. You guys lost the division, but you had a big game at Livingstone. I think that's a game that really stands out. You had some big buckets down the stretch, and then that kind of launched you guys into the CIAA tournament. Just talk about, just what you remember from that run and, kind of starting with that game.
Yeah, so for me, basically, going into that tournament, it was just, for me, it was kind of new. Never been a part of the CIAA tournament, so I heard people talk about it, and they loved how it was in Charlotte. So it was definitely something to look forward to. I was just kind of taking it game by game and just never really – that's the first time I ever played. I played in college season before Division I, but that was the first time I played in a tournament-style event like that. So going into that game, I knew we had Livingstone first. We had lost the division, so we knew, we were going to be, having a little chip on our shoulder. And then also with Rob not getting Player of the Year that year, it kind of had him having a chip on his shoulder. So, and then I didn't make front court. So, everybody just had a little bit of chip on their shoulder going into that year. They were kind of more so upset, but not really, upset, just using everything for motivation, honestly. So, going into that, playing Livingstone, we were just able to go out there and execute what we did all season as far as them, just because Livingstone, they're a team that plays hard, but we just had that chip and we had that, them go-getters. So, for us, it was pretty solidified we were going to get that win. And then running into Claflin, we knew that would be a tough game just because we faced some trouble with Claflin down there away. And then we were able to win against them at home that year. But it was a tough game because they were up on us by, I want to say 12 points or 12 to 16 points, something like that, going into the second half. And so from there, that was a tough game. I think we won by 4 points. And then just knowing we had to see Fayetteville State was the ultimate test. We knew we'd climbed the mountain all the way. It was just time to go ahead and get to the top and definitely cap off a good run. So playing Fayetteville State, it was different. That game was packed out. Everybody knew that was a big time rivalry game on top of it being just a championship game. So for me playing in that game, it definitely led to we being more strategic. Now I feel like that game right there, I will definitely say that game taught me how CIAA basketball is about strategy and how, certain things you do can cost you in the long run and how you have to be very, very smart in every decision you make on the court.
Right. Yeah, that 2020 championship is definitely one that people remember for a long time, and it was the first time I had a chance to watch WSSU win a championship. So it was very special. Last CIAA in Charlotte, You guys had a lot of momentum from that. Then COVID happens, and then I know you took a little time off from school. There was a long time between games for you. You know, what kept you motivated to get back, and when you got back, obviously you guys were able to come back and win a championship. What was that like for you to come back?
Well, what kept me motivated first to come back was my family kept me motivated, as well as my friends, especially like my dad, my mom, my stepmom. They definitely kept me motivated, but just knowing the type of player I was, I've been playing, basketball for a long time, and just knowing like I had so much left to give and so much growth I could still do. So I knew I would be able to go back and just come back and just be the player I am. So from there, that's what led to just me being, on that road to just being who I am now.
Yeah, no doubt. And you guys, you came in as a new group of guys, but you kind of came in and brought that veteran leadership, especially early on in the CIAA tournament. I know you guys had kind of fallen kind of towards the end of that season, and you guys, got back again. That Livingstone game kind of launched you guys. Just talk about, quickly that run, you guys winning those 4 days and 4 games and 4 nights, especially that game against Virginia Union.
Yeah, that team, we had like a lot of guys who just were dogs. I feel like that team was the team I had the most guys. Like that was the deepest team I probably ever played on, just as far as like being able to go from just, 12 guys down the bench. And so for me, going into that run, we did come off a 3-game losing streak. Well, we had a 3-game losing streak. Then we were able to get a win before we went into the tournament. But just going into the tournament, we really focused on one game at a time. Because like I told the guys, it doesn't necessarily matter what our record is or what anyone did during the regular season, just because right now everything is 0-0. So, if they lose or we lose, you go home. It doesn't matter what's going on, whether you win by 1 point or 5 points. So going into that, St. Aug was definitely a team we knew we could go out there and win. Guys, I feel like they were bought in, but they weren't like, thinking like we had a shot, like a big shot at winning. So just winning that game, it was, pretty much understood we would win. Then going into that Claflin game, everyone was a bit nervous just because we struggled with Claflin all year long, but I wasn't necessarily worried. And I guess when guys got to see the energy that I brought and just the effort that I had out there and just seeing how they knew, what it would be. As they can see there. So, just going out there and winning that game, like that really, I guess, showed everybody that, we got a big chance to win this thing. We just got to go out there and keep going. And then running into Virginia Union, that's the game I honestly wanted just because, guys had talked about, me going up against Osborne, which is cool, very much understood. He's a great player. But it was just, I knew our team could be his. And I felt like the first time we had a chance to beat him, some mistakes cost us that game in the winter when we played against them back in December of that year. But, going to that game, it was a hard game. Guys stepped up. Like, I've never seen the guys fight that hard ever. So it was like a game that I really was happy that we won. Coach Wilson, Coach Beckwith, and Coach Hill all put together a good scout to help us win that game. And then we went out there and executed. So running into Lincoln, Lincoln not said like that, but we just knew like it felt just like 2020. Like me and Xavier recall that moment, we felt like just, we were destined to win there. So we went out there and we just did what we had to do. And once we were able to see that final score, that Lincoln game, and we knew we won, it was like, we kind of accomplished everything people said we couldn't.
Yeah, no doubt. And then we'll wrap it up with this year. So many accolades, CIAA Player of the Year, first person from WSSU to do that in almost 2 decades. And over 2 decades, you guys got the chance to play at the NBA All-Star Game. You had a career game over here against Fayetteville State. What is the biggest memory you're going to have from this senior season for you guys, for you as an individual and just overall?
The biggest memories I'm going to have is just, like, really having fun, like, cherishing every moment with those guys. Like, it would be times where preseason, in the season, even, like, postseason now, I still say it. I say, don't take this moment for granted, cherish the time we got together. I'm going to miss y'all guys when I leave. And I said that, throughout the whole season. And, we had moments where we were lackadaisical and we had fun, but at the same time, we were serious about, what we had to be serious on. That was basketball as far as, like, the scout, film, and everything like that. So we were able to accomplish a lot. Didn't finish the goal like we wanted to, but at the same time, I feel like with what we had and with everybody on that team, I felt like the goals and what we needed to do, we accomplished. We just didn't finish all the way through. But it was definitely a great season with this team this year. So I'm really happy.
And now you're heading up to the pros. Just talk about, what do you think you need to work on going to the pros to really get your game to translate and continue to make money for a long time playing basketball? Is that what you want?
Yeah, I definitely want to continue to play professionally, be able to take this dream and take this goal as far as I can. As far as what I want to work on definitely being more guard-oriented, being able to show guys, I can shoot the outside shot, and also be able to show them that I can make the right reads off of being able to pick and roll, because a lot of the professionals, that's all it really is out there, just for pick and roll game and being able to hit the open shot when it's kicked to you. So, yeah, I definitely want to work on just showing everybody, how well I can do that, and then also, include what I already do now, which is being able to get to the basket and rebound. So just having a well-rounded game is what I'm focusing on. People going to be able to say, he definitely, improved from where he left Winston. So that's the common goal for me.
Awesome. Well, look, guys, this is a busy man. He's on the way to graduate, and he's on the way to a pro career. So I appreciate him giving any of the time that he could with us. And we appreciate WSSU for allowing us to use this space here at the WSSU Multimedia Lab powered by Adobe. It's a great space for students, faculty, and they even let alumni in here every now and then, So good stuff there. Appreciate you, Jaylen. Good luck on everything you got going. It's been a pleasure to watch you over these last couple of years, man.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody from Winston. Definitely. And I know I hear to talk about CIAA Player of the Year, but I'm gonna let it slide. God gonna keep guiding me where I need to go, man. Thank you.
Well, I'll say this, man. I think you didn't shoot enough. I would say that's my criticism of you. You didn't shoot enough. There'll be a lot of games, man, but you're a team player. So I think that showed up. But you showed, obviously, especially late in the season, that if you got to go get the buckets, you can get the buckets. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get it on out of here. And I appreciate you guys for watching HBCU Game Day. Peace.